In a cozy nest hidden within a thicket of ferns lay Dino's egg, warm and bright. One sunny morning, the crackling sound of breaking shells filled the air. The egg began to shake, and with a little push, Dino hatched, a tiny, green dinosaur with big, curious eyes and a soft, colorful spot on his back. Dino blinked at the sunshine beaming down and squeaked his first little roar. He was so excited to explore the world around him. But as he wobbled to his feet, he realized that everything looked enormous, and the ground felt a bit shaky beneath his feet. Just as Dino began to feel a little scared, two friendly creatures appeared, Tilly the Triceratops and Benny the Brontosaurus. They were playing nearby. Tilly, with her three majestic horns, looked at Dino and grinned.
Hey there, little guy. Want to play with us?
Yes. I'm Dino. What do you do?
Benny smiled and said,
We play games and explore. But first, you should learn some important skills to keep up with us.
With Tilly and Benny's encouragement, Dino began to practice walking. At first, he stumbled and fell on the soft grass, but with every attempt, he grew more confident.
You can do it.
After mastering his walking, Tilly said,
Now, let's work on your roar. A dinosaur needs a mighty roar.
Dino puffed up his chest and gave it his all. It came out a little squeaky, making Tilly and Benny giggle. Dino spent the afternoon trying out different ways to roar. He even tried sounding like a bird. By sunset, he had a small array of roars ranging from squeaky to mighty.
You're getting there, Dino.
Tilly encouraged. The next day, Tilly and Benny took Dino to a sparkling blue lake.
Time to learn how to swim.
Tilly announced. Dino looked nervous. He had never been in deep water before, but he trusted his friends.
We'll be right here with you. Just paddle with your legs.
Benny reassured him. As they splashed into the water, Dino hesitated but slowly followed. At first, he just bobbed up and down, but soon he started kicking his legs. With lots of support from Tilly and Benny, he was soon swimming. They frolicked in the water, splashing each other and playing tag among the lily pads. By the end of the day, Dino was a confident little swimmer. As the days turned into weeks, Dino continued to learn new skills. One sunny morning, they ventured to the nearby hills. Said Benny excitedly. There were big rocks and tall trees waiting to be scaled. Dino looked at the towering trees and thought.
Can I really climb that?
Tilly whispered.
Just take it one step at a time, Dino.
With his friends cheering him on, Dino cautiously put one foot in front of the other and began to climb the smaller rocks first. It was tricky, and sometimes he slipped, but he always got back up and tried again. With a lot of perseverance, Dino finally made it to the top of a small hill.
I did it!
He cheered, looking down at the view of the valley. The sense of accomplishment filled him with pride. One afternoon, the trio was playing a game of hide-and-seek in the valley. While Dino was hiding behind a large boulder, he overheard some older dinosaurs discussing a new territory that had just opened up. It sounded exciting, but they mentioned some challenges ahead, like thick bushes and the need to navigate carefully. When the game ended, Dino approached Tilly and Benny.
What if we go to the new territory? I want to explore.
Tilly and Benny exchanged worried glances.
It might be tough. We have to be careful.
Tilly cautioned. Dino replied.
I've learned so many things. I think we can do it together.
With a nod of agreement, they all decided to embark on the adventure. As they made their way through the valley, they encountered challenges, thorns, narrow paths, and muddy spots. Dino used his new skills to help navigate each obstacle. He swam through a small stream that had formed from recent rains, and with his growing confidence, he encouraged Tilly and Benny to follow. When they reached the edge of the new territory, they saw beautiful flowers they had never seen before. But there was a steep slope to climb down, and it looked daunting. Dino took a deep breath and said,
We've faced challenges before. Let's do this together.
One by one, they climbed down, using teamwork and encouragement. When they reached the bottom, Dino felt unstoppable. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with shades of orange and pink, Dino, Tilly, and Benny looked around at their new surroundings, filled with beautiful plants and colorful dinosaur friends. We did it! We worked together and got here! Dino exclaimed, feeling proud of their journey. They played and explored until the stars twinkled in the night sky. Dino realized that he had learned so many skills in such a short time, but what mattered most was the friendship they had built along the way. And so, in that magical land filled with adventures and laughter, Dino was no longer just a little dinosaur. He was an adventurous, capable, and proud member of his community, forever ready to learn more and take on whatever challenges lay ahead.
In a land where the warm sun shines bright, lived Dino the dinosaur. Oh, what a sight! With a smile on his face and a heart full of cheer, he roamed the green hills with friends ever near. Dino and friends, let's laugh and explore. Adventures await us, there's so much in store. With Bella and Max, we'll soar to the sky. Together we'll shine like stars up high. First came Bella with feathers so bright. She sang little songs that could chase away night. Let's have an adventure, come fly high with me. We'll dance through the clouds, oh, just wait and see. Dino and friends, let's laugh and explore. Adventures await us, there's so much in store. With Bella and Max, we'll soar to the sky. Together we'll shine like stars up high. Then came Max, the mouse full of glee, with a twinkle in his eye so lively and free. Let's find a treasure, oh what fun it could be. I've heard there's a chest by the big old oak tree. Dino and friends, let's laugh and explore. Adventures await us, there's so much in store. With Bella and Max, we'll soar to the sky. Together we'll shine like stars up high. Through fields of tall flowers, we danced in the breeze, sharing our snacks, climbing high in the trees. With Bella on the branches, we all took a peek, while Max told his tales, oh, laughter's the peak. At last they arrived where the old oak stood tall. Its branches were wide, it had seen it all. Digging in the roots, what excitement they found. A treasure chest shining, half buried in the ground. Dino and friends, let's laugh and explore. Adventures await us, there's so much in store. With Bella and Max, we'll soar to the sky. Together we'll shine like stars up high. With hearts beating fast, they opened it wide. Inside were sweet goodies, a big surprise inside. Cookies and candies, oh what a delight. They cheered and they chortled, their faces so bright. Dear friends, said Dino, this treasure we share. Together our laughter fills up the fresh air. It's not just the goodies or riches we seek, but the journey of friendship, the joy that we speak. Dino and friends, let's laugh and explore. Adventures await us, there's so much in store. With Bella and Max, we'll soar to the sky. Together we'll shine like stars up high. The best kind of treasure, as Dino well knew, is the love of good friends, forever so true. Under the stars in the soft moonlight glow, Dino and friends, together they'll...
In a good old village surrounded by the snow-capped peaks of the Himalayan mountains, life for Mara and her daughter Lila had become a struggle for survival. Mara, a woman in her 30s, had once flourished in this land, her hands skilled at coaxing life from the fertile earth. But in recent years, seasons had betrayed her, and the reality of hunger gripped their small mountain community. As the winter lingered, the crops in the fields turned to husks, and the supply of food dwindled. The village had always been self-sufficient, but this particular winter was harsher than any in memory. Starvation hovered like a shadow over their small log cabin, a constant reminder of their desperation. Mara and Lila shared meager meals, often consisting of foraged herbs and stale bread. Each morning, the pair would rise before dawn, the cold biting at their skin, and venture into the mountains in search of roots, berries, or anything to stave off hunger. Lila, though still a child of 10, possessed a spirit that seemed, at times, unbreakable. Her heart danced more readily than the shadows that clawed at the edges of their existence. One particularly bitter morning, as Mara and Lila trekked the familiar path toward the old cherry tree that held so many memories, Lila's voice rang out, full of hope.
Mama, do you think the cherries will bloom this year?
Mara, weary from the cold and worry, forced a smile, though her heart was heavy.
I hope so, my love. The tree has seen many winters. It always finds a way, just like we do.
I can't see any blossoms, Mama.
Sometimes, we just need to wait, Mara replied softly.
The day passed with Lila gathering twigs for the fire while Mara foraged for anything that might be edible. They returned home empty-handed, save for a few small herbs and wildflowers. They cooked them together into a thin broth, the flavor meager yet comforting.
What if we plant a new garden? We could use the seeds from the herbs we found.
Mara thought for a moment.
That's a wonderful idea, Lila.
One evening, Mara noticed that Lila was quiet, her eyes cast down.
What troubles you, sweetheart?
Mama, what if the garden doesn't grow? What if we can't feed the others?
No matter what happens, we'll always have each other. That is our greatest strength. We will find a way.
Mara sketched out a small plot behind their cabin, carefully turning the soil and planting the seeds that Lila had collected. They watered the soil with well-worn buckets from a nearby stream, their laughter rising above the sound of rustling leaves. The act of planting felt like an expression of stubborn resilience against the unnerving grip of despair.
Look, Lila, our hard work is paying off.
As spring unfurled its colors, Mara and Lila's garden flourished into a vibrant patch of green. The vegetables grew taller, thickening with each passing day, but the threat of desperation hung over the village like a winter cloud. Parents grew weaker, and children grew more fragile as their hunger troubled their dreams. One afternoon, while tending to their garden, they heard knocking at their door. Mara wiped her hands on her apron before opening the door to find Old Man Elias, a respected elder of the village, standing there, his face lined with worry.
Mara, Lila, may I come in?
Of course, eldest Elias.
Mara replied, beckoning him inside. They offered him a seat by the fire, and Lila rushed to fetch a warm cup of herbal tea. Elias settled into the chair, eyeing the garden visible through the window with a mix of admiration and concern.
Wanted to talk to you about the community. The hunger has become too severe for many. We need help, but we don't know how to ask for it.
Mara's heart sank.
It's so hard when there's so little to go around, Elias. We've all worked so hard.
Perhaps we can share what we have. What if we came together? Everyone contributes what they can, no matter how little. Suppose we turn your garden into a communal effort?
Mara's eyes widened with hope.
We could invite everyone to pitch in. If we work together, we may be able to plant more and share the harvest.
The following days turned into a whirlwind of preparation as word spread through the village. Families gathered at Mara's garden, bringing seeds, tools, and an eagerness to work side by side. The garden transformed, becoming a hub of camaraderie and determination. Neighbors who once had barely spoken beyond polite greetings came together, laughing and sharing stories while tending to the soil. Children played nearby, collecting wildflowers and telling tales of fairies living among the trees. As hands worked the earth, hope blossomed like the first blooms of spring. Mara felt a renewed purpose, her spirit infused with strength from her neighbors. They shared knowledge, experienced through years of farming, and the garden flourished. Lila dashed through the rows of young plants, tending to those that needed extra care.
Look, Mama. The crop is sprouting.
Yes, sweetheart, we are building something beautiful together.
As the weeks rolled on, summer approached, ushering forth bountiful rains. The garden thrived under the sun, producing rich vegetables, herbs, and even a few fruits. They harvested with laughter, the joy echoing throughout the valley. A communal feast was planned, a gathering that would lift their spirits and unite them in celebration. On the day of the feast, villagers arrived bearing their contributions, arms loaded with fresh produce, baskets filled with bread, freshly caught fish, and wild berries. The fragrant aroma enveloped the air as villagers set up long tables beneath the old cherry tree, which had begun to bloom once more, its flowers swaying gently in the breeze. Lila helped her mother, her eyes sparkling with excitement as they arranged the colorful spread upon the tables. Mara looked around, taking in the sight of her neighbors sharing smiles, laughter, and food, and her heart swelled with gratitude and hope. When the feast began, Mara stood up to address the community.
Today, we celebrate not just the fruits of our labor but the strength we found in each other. In our darkest hours, we learned that we are never alone. Together, we can overcome even the toughest challenges.
Cheers erupted, echoing through the valley as people raised their glasses. They feasted until the sun began to set, the golden light casting a warmth over their faces. As months passed, Mara, Lila, and their community continued farming together. The cherry tree bore fruit in the late summer, reminiscent of times long forgotten. They would climb its branches, collecting cherries and laughing, overflowing with joy. Yet, with newfound abundance came deeper connections. Mara and her neighbors turned their communal efforts into gardens, enhancing the community's resilience and transforming the valley into a tapestry of lush greenery. One crisp autumn evening, as Lila and Mara reflected on their journey, Lila turned to her mother, her voice soft yet confident.
Mama, do you think the mountains will ever forget how we came together?
No, my love, the mountains witnessed our struggles, our courage, and our triumphs. They will remember the strength that flowed from our hearts when we chose to unite.
As they looked out over the valley bathed in the warm hues of sunset, Mara whispered a silent promise to the mountains, knowing that together, they could face whatever challenges lay ahead. In their hearts, they carried the truth that hope could flourish in even the harshest of places, nourished by love, community, and resilience. And in that moment, as day turned to night, the mountains themselves seemed to whisper back, echoing the spirit of all who dared to dream amidst adversity.